I've built in a lot of small form factor cases over the past year and a half, most of which I've filmed and shared on this channel to hopefully help or inspire others to create a small build for themselves. And that's the build complete. 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 In that time, I've learned a lot about what makes a case good, but what also makes a case great. I've also taken interest in designing some things myself, starting with what I think are new ideas using the tools that I only have available in my workshop. Now, while I definitely still have my favorites, I feel like there's still room for more cases that are simple to build in, that feel solid and high quality, but most important of all, are affordable. And I want to do just that. I want to make a real case, a high quality case that I myself would want to buy and I'd want to put on my desk, something focused, upgradable, with adequate cooling. But you see, here's the thing. I can make wish lists, I can draw up plans, and I can even 3D print prototypes all day long, but I have no idea how to actually make something like that a reality, or how to manufacture it, or to distribute it. I don't have any experience creating and selling a physical product, but I do want to learn, which means I can't, and I really don't want to do this alone. But thankfully, I'm not.
Hey man.
Hey, how you doing? This is Alex, a co-founder at Thorzone. He's a case maker who's created some of the most unique, innovative, and high-quality cases around. Most recently, the Nanook S and the Nanook R, and then soon to be released Tetra. Beyond that, he's just a laid-back, talented, and really cool guy that is super passionate about designing cases. We got to talking after the Nanook launch, and I mentioned in passing that I too one day wanted to make a case. So a few months ago, he messaged me to see if I was interested in a project, creating a brand new case from scratch with him. To start brainstorming what we actually wanted to make, I created a mirror board for us to just kind of plaster all of our ideas and designs that inspire us. And from there, we started talking and messaging through each point just to narrow down what we felt like makes the most sense. This process was actually pretty quick. We were basically on the same page of what we wanted to create almost on day one. But over the course of the next week, we still put together different ideas, hearing out each other's viewpoints on each aspect just to shape out what the overall goals of this project were going to be.
If you have like surfaces that are perpendicular to each other, cutouts on both sides, and they mismatch a little bit, it will be noticeable, of course.
Yeah.
So we want to avoid that.
Now, for me, my biggest concern was pricing. Now, Thorzone is known for using very high quality materials, but certain processes such as milling steel rods and extruding unibody outer shells, they're just very expensive. So the main question was, okay, what processes can we adopt for ourselves that will be more cost effective, but without sacrificing the use of, quality materials? And we both determined that CNC machined aluminum is still the way to go here. We just need to make sure that we're smart about it and avoid too many complicated cuts, and just to reduce the overall machine time. Because we're doing this at like 4 millimeters thick, like it's just gonna, people are gonna lose their minds when they see the price at like, they are, like I'm dead serious. Like, no one's doing this. No one's making a case like with this build quality and like this type of design for this price. It just doesn't exist. Beyond the pricing of the box, though, we also want to consider the pricing of the components that are going to fit inside of it. There's going to be a lot of savings there because ATX power supplies are less expensive, micro ATX boards are less expensive. You can get a decent 240, or you can go with a air cooler. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with where we're at. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like, the air cooling capability is also like great for those that actually don't want to go down the water cooling route, but it also feels like people can make like a really nice custom loop in here.
So making this case compatible with those parts will be part of the plan to bring the overall cost of building in this case down. Now, naturally, that's also going to bring the size of the case up. I know some of you who watch this channel are probably hoping for a sub 10 or 11 liter case, which this is obviously not going to be, considering that we are going with micro ATX support. But I will say this, I also have some ideas on a smaller case too, in time. I have come across cases in the past that can't properly fit what they claim. One of the advantages, though, of running a PC building YouTube channel is that I happen to have most of the popular CPU coolers. I certainly have all of the popular sizes, plus a lot in between. And same thing with GPUs, basically all of the popular sizes. With these, I'll be able to test fit a bunch of different combinations of parts to hopefully prevent a situation where you're just like 1 or 2 millimeters off from fitting a popular CPU cooler in a build. It should be said though that this is still a small form factor case. So not every cooler, under the sun is gonna fit in here, but the ones that we claim are gonna fit will be tested. Now to do this, we are also gonna need some tools. We want to be able to iterate on our designs quickly, and that's where my 3D printer is going to come in. This is the Bamboo Lab X1 Carbon. Now to be clear, this is not sponsored by Bamboo, but they did send this printer over for me to use in my projects, and I am very glad that they did, because I think that this is going to be an invaluable asset during this process. Because these small cases come down to the millimeter, the things that I'm going to be printing need to be as close to exact as possible. So here's the plan. Alex, he's going to send over different 3D model pieces for me to print, and then I can test their compatibility. Once I print them out, test them on a few different components, I'll write down any of the issues that I find. If the changes are small, I can make those changes myself on the fly and then reprint to try again. Now, if the problem is more complicated, I can send him the list of all the issues that I'm finding, then he's able to handle it, send it back to me, and then we print again. And it's why I chose this printer specifically. I need it to be fast and I need it to be reliable. And compared to just all the others that I've tested, this one just straight up works. It's got all these crazy features like auto bed leveling and depth measuring that's gonna make the prints as accurate as possible, or at least accurate enough for my needs at this phase. Sitting on top of it is what's called an AMS. This is what allows me to switch between different plastic types or different colors. Now I actually switched out the colors on this power supply unit bracket just so that I could quickly identify top versus bottom. This will help me avoid making any mistakes when testing alignment. And using the different plastic types, it's also gonna be really important here. PLA plastic has a lower melting point than PETG, for example. So while I will probably be using PLA for some quick fitment tests, I also want to test different ventilation patterns to see what we can do to reduce turbulence and what's going to allow for the best cooling. And if I need to put that against anything that's going to produce heat, like a CPU cooler, for example, then PETG is going to be the better way to go here. And while this thing is fast in the world of 3D printers, some of the prints I'm doing can still take upwards of like 4 hours or more. I like this thing so much that I decided to buy another one myself. This way I'll be able to iterate on our designs even faster, so that hopefully when we get our first manufactured prototypes, the case is going to be nearly flawless. The other tool I just picked up is this 3D scanner. It actually just came in this week. It was not cheap, but what I'm hoping to do here is to scan some of the popular components to get exact 3D replicas where we can further test for proper fitment before printing or ordering any prototypes. Ultimately, the goal here is to reduce the amount of time and improve the accuracy of our designs to make the best case that we can.
Spirits in the dark.